That must be her. Hey, Cat. Hey, Adine. Are you ready to go? Sure am. Can't wait to see everything the festival has to offer. Oh, I'm sorry if it came across that way, but I don't think we'll actually have much time to take part in the festivities. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll have to spend most of my time in the competition grounds. We'll arrive there early so I can check in and do my warm-up. I'll still have to stick around after my performance to wait for the award ceremony. Well, I guess you don't have to wait with me. You can see the rest of the festival if you wanted to. That's out of the question. I'm here to spend time with you. The festival's not that important. Besides, we can always see everything on one of the other festival days. True. You can even watch the big fireworks show at the end. Yeah, I've heard about that. Everyone keeps telling me how important it is for me to see. It's not that important, but if you have the opportunity, you really should go. Not sure if I'll be able to attend, but I'd gladly accompany you if I have the chance. I know I definitely want some more water right now. Alright. Sure, so today's agenda is emotional support, and next time we can take in all aspects of the festival. Sound good? Perfect. Alright, let's go then. Took a while for us to arrive at the festival, which had already begun by this point. The last of the booths that lined the way were still being set up, but dragons of all shapes and sizes were already pouring in. Instead of walking directly through the festival, we stayed outside the established paths, heading towards the stage where the competition was going to be held. Eventually, we arrived at a rather large open-air area near the facility that had been roped off. At one corner of the building, a few flyers had already gathered. Maybe you should wait here while I get my number. Why? People might get the wrong idea if you show up in the registration line. Besides, they'd certainly stare and start asking all kinds of questions. Alright, I'll just stay here then. I'll be right back. After Adine had waddled off to the other flyers, here's I surveyed my surroundings idly. Beyond the big open-air area, seating had been provided. And I could already see a few people waiting for the competition to start. Oh, you know what? They don't mean flyers as in like those ads that get handed out. They mean like the other flying dragons. A few had even gathered on the roof of the building to watch from here. I'm back! Is that your number? He held a piece of cloth with a large number printed on it. A few straps were hanging from it. What? This? No, of course not. It's Scaly Wings' number. Of course, sorry for the mistake. I'm one of the last to start, actually. Are we late? No, I guess the others just arrived earlier to have more time to get ready. What do you think about the other competitors? I've seen most of them fly before. Some are really, really good. Doesn't seem like there are many newcomers here, so right now, I'm the odd one out. Maybe you could use that to your advantage. How so? Well, you know more about them than they do about you. Having a promising newcomer there might throw them off their game. I'm not so sure about that. After all, it's not as if any of our already choreographed performances would change based on what others do now. Each of us just tries to do their best. Most of them are seasoned flyers, so they already know how to deal with that kind of pressure. If anything, I'm the one who might get nervous and mess up. I do have one advantage though. I'm still pretty young, and this is a sport with a great amount of wear and tear. There comes a certain point in time when you just can't perform as well anymore as you used to. Many complicated maneuvers can only be performed by younger athletes. The older ones can make up for it using their experience, and with better execution of easier moves. In the end, a daring newcomer like me could surprise the audience and the judges with something new and unexpected, which is exactly what I plan to do. How good do you think your chances are? With a bit of luck, I might even be able to win. It's just a local competition after all. But you know what? Just being here right now and performing in front of so many people is a win for me. People will know me. I'll probably get mentioned somewhere in a local paper. I've trained for years, and my application to compete finally got accepted. Now I just have to make the most of it and I'll be happy. It's not gonna really believe that I'm here. It's the moment I've worked so hard for. I'll be watching you. Oh, stop it. You're making me nervous. Sorry. Can you help me with this? She spread out her wing, and only then did I notice her shoulder joint was tightly bandaged. What's that for? It's just a training bandage to stabilize my shoulder after that little blunder you witnessed last time. I can't fly with these in the competition though, so I'll have to take it off. Okay. I opened the bandage, carefully unwrapping her wing. There you go. Thanks. Spread both of her wings, beating them a few times. Couldn't help noticing that the previously bandaged wing was sagging noticeably compared to its counterpart, as if it were misaligned. She seemed to be examining her shoulder, somewhat lost in thought when I spoke up. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't I? I can see her straining without the bandage. I'm fine, really. Don't worry about it. You're fine without the bandage, then how come you were wearing it up to just now? Did you need it for practice too? You can practice without it. Maybe you aren't ready to compete without it yet. Since when are you suddenly an expert on flying? I'm the one who has been doing this for years, not you. It's my dream we're talking about. Just don't pursue your dream so strongly that you get yourself killed. Do you want them to see you in this condition, judge you based on that rather than when you're at your best? I just have to try, you know? Suppose something goes wrong though. Don't want to be in that position. If I start making excuses now, maybe I'll never stop. I'll always be too nervous or too injured. Or didn't eat right the day before. I feel bad enough as it is. Right now, I have the chance to do this. If I don't take it, maybe I never will. I'll always just be a server and delivery girl making minimum wage. Is this one chance really too much to ask for? No, but it doesn't have to be right now. There'll always be another year. They've never seen you compete before. If you fly now, they'll judge you based on this performance. You only have one chance of making a first impression. You know it won't be your best if you fly right now. If it's not good enough, maybe they won't invite you again next year. If you fly now, they won't accept any excuses. But if you tell them they're injured, they might let you fly another time. But I don't want to wait another year. I want to do it now. I trained so much, even with this injury. Tell me I should just let it go? I just can't help thinking about last time. If you crash like that again, there's no sand here to cushion your fall. It will be much worse. You think I don't know that? That I'm not already worrying about this more than I ever have for anything else? I just don't want to make excuses anymore. I don't want to wonder if I'll ever amount to anything more than a waitress. I want to be able to follow my dream. I don't want to wait another year to find out. What about Emily? Something happened to you. How do you think they'll explain to her that you just suddenly stopped showing up, huh? Don't you dare bring her into this! She has nothing to do with it! Like it or not, what you are doing could have consequences. There are others beside you who will be affected if something goes wrong. You know what? I will fly and do the best damn job I've ever done! There's nothing you can do to stop me! Before I could fly, she angrily stomped off towards the building, where by now a number of contestants had arrived. While I failed to convince her, at least I could say that I had tried my hardest to stop her. I asked myself whether I even wanted to watch the competition at that point. It's possible that she'd do even better than expected, but if my experience was any indication, her performance would not turn out well. In the end, I decided to stay and watch from the sidelines. Didn't want to join the rest of the audience, as I was sure it'd get me unwanted attention. After the competition started, I lost myself in thought, thinking over the conversation I had with Adine while watching the other contestants half-heartedly. Adine had been right. Some of them really were very good. But based on what I had seen in her practice session, she did have a shot at winning if everything went well for her. Even though my rational mind doubted that would happen, for her own sake I hoped it would. One by one, contestants showed off their skill and variety of moves, usually followed by the applause of the audience. Eventually, it was time for Adine's turn. Next on the stage is number 11, a promising newcomer who will show her skills to the public here for the very first time in their debut performance. Please welcome Neo Wing! There was an excited bout of clapping. The audience was always curious to see a newcomer on stage. However, after a few seconds passed, Adine still hadn't emerged. An awkward silence set as the audience applause stopped and everyone sat anxiously, waiting for her to show up. She never did. After half a minute or so had passed, the announcer's voice once more echoed across the area. My apologies. Looks like number 11 will not be flying today. Next up is number 12, a certain veteran who you may know for his somewhat unusual technique. Before I could even ask myself what had happened, I saw Adine walking out of the building coming towards me. Adine, what did you do? Let's just go somewhere else. Okay. We walked away from the festival and sat down under a tree in the outskirts of town. As the competition was already nearly over, the darkness had already set in. Here should be good. So, what made you reconsider? You were right with everything you said. When I was inside and had a bit of time to cool off, I realized I didn't want to do it like this, even if I'd have to wait another year. How do you feel now? I know it was the right thing to do, but I can't help thinking that I just came so close. That I could have done it if it hadn't been for that stupid accident. You have another chance, I promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. Hey, Cat, look at the sky. Can you see that light? The one that looks a bit brighter than all the others? Is that the meteor? I looked up and saw many celestial bodies lighting up the sky. One of them was noticeably brighter than all the other stars. Yeah. I usually practice in the evening scene till it's dark, so I see the stars pretty often. I noticed something about that one. It moves. How does it move? It looks pretty stationary to me. You won't notice it just by looking at it, but over the last couple of weeks, I noticed that it's changed positions when comparing it to other stars. Can't be a star then. Stars don't move. They have an office in one of the cities that watches these kinds of things. I caught them about a while ago. What'd they say? It's just an asteroid passing by. It's even been on the news a few times. That makes it sound pretty important. Yeah, it's a big one apparently. Otherwise we wouldn't even be able to see without a telescope. Do they think it's dangerous? Cad, you know it's dangerous. Why would it be? I don't know. It could hit the moon or something like that. They assured me that's not going to happen. They say calculating the paths of celestial bodies is a very complicated science, not really an exact one. They know it's not going to hit the moon, but they're watching it to make sure it passes safely. Not that just watching it would make a difference. They don't really know anything more. Apparently, they're also really underfunded. Council doesn't see the need to waste people's time and money to look into the sky all day. That's strange, don't you think? It used to be a pretty important job, but over time, the funding got less and less until only this token office in our biggest city was left. I see. Such a shame, since the whole institution was based on our creation story. In what way? In one of the stories, our creator told us to watch the skies. How religious are you, really? What exactly do you mean? Well, dragons have these myths about humans. How many of them do you actually believe are true? Oh, I believe all of it. I just love reading the stories, theories, and all that. Why is that? Well, I think there's a lot we can learn from it. Much of our society is based on it, including our laws and traditions. I see. Can I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. What would you think if I told you that I am a time traveler from the future? Hey, don't joke about something like that. Why not? Because I'd believe you. Besides, if you're really a time traveler, I think you'd come from the past, like the time we were created. Really, why is that? Because that's the only time in our history where we know of humans ever being here. If you came from the future, that would mean humans were to show up at some point in our future history. I'm not sure how or why that would happen. Wouldn't that mean that I was your creator? Well, not necessarily. There could have been other humans around, right? Your myths only mention one, though. Yeah, but people speculate, trying to find an explanation for those old myths. Maybe there were more humans around, and they just died. Or their creation rebelled and killed them. Others say they fled across the ocean. We just don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I like reading about all the theories and trying to piece the puzzle together myself. That's why I want to visit that underground building we found. Some of the theories are quite out there. Like what? For example, one says that humans are really aliens who came from a different planet. They created us for some reason and just vanished again. What would they do that for? Maybe it's an experiment. They're testing us. Some say they're always watching us from up there somewhere with a giant mothership, and that maybe one day they'll return when we're ready to join them. That is pretty out there, I'll say. Told you so. What about the humanity you come from, though? Why don't you tell me more about your world? I don't like talking about that. It's much prettier here. I don't believe you. It's the truth. I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. I'd love to visit your world. I don't think that'll be a good idea to visit us right now. Why not? Do you know what our world is like? Are there any rumors about that? Not really. There hasn't been much speculation about that yet. Of course we're curious, though. Next time, we want to send one of our ambassadors to your world to make it even and all that. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Don't be so negative! I'm sorry, it's not up to me to determine the best course of action. Just a lowly ambassador, after all. Not quite as lowly as a waitress with nothing more than high aspirations. Maybe it's time for me to go home. I would walk you. I guess you'd be faster if you flew. Nah, I'd rather not without the bandage. Are you serious? You're going to do your performance like that? I know, I shouldn't have tried. You don't have to bring that up again. I'm sorry. For what's worth, I think you made the right decision in the end. Thank you. Shall we go then? Sure. There we are. Do you want to come in for a bit? It'd be a shame for you to have to come all this way for nothing. Sure. She opened the door, wiping her feet on the doormat before she went inside. Can I offer you something to drink, maybe? No, thanks. I'm good. How about some TV? That could be interesting. I haven't watched TV in ages. Don't have one in the apartment. You're right. You've got a pretty decent apartment, but they don't provide a TV. I wonder why. Maybe they want to avoid culture shock or something like that. You got a shelf full of books, though. Why would books be fine, but not a TV? I suppose when they give me books, they know that I'm going to read. But on TV, they can't really regulate the content I'm going to see. At least if TV works the same way as ours used to. That's true. Maybe they just thought your time would be better spent elsewhere. I guess. They didn't want me to watch TV. They certainly never told me. Actually, there's a series on right now that could be pretty interesting to you. What is it? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. Do you want me to put it on or not? Sure, let's do it. Adine turned on TV and a brief flicker appeared on screen before us filled with images of a house from the outside. Well, that doesn't look unusual. Just wait a bit. Camera cut to the inside of the home while the chattering of small talk could be heard. Then, some figures entered the living room on the screen. They were grotesque, malformed creatures with rather cartoony proportions, covered in odd lumps all over their body. They all shared the same odd skin tone. It was clear to me that these figures were played by actors in obviously fake, bulky costumes that reminded me of mascots. What are those? Humans! Humans. That's the name of the series. A typical sitcom about a contemporary family as we would expect it, but the twist is that everyone is human. And then I realized why I hadn't been able to identify the creatures on screen as humans. They were all naked. Since the dragon's concept of clothing was different, they had applied their own principles when creating this series. It was quite bizarre to see a typical family sitcom where all the characters were in obviously fake costumes, and also happened to be naked. Do you like it? It's one of my favorites. It is a sitcom. It manages to address serious and deep issues fairly often, which I don't think would be as effective if we weren't watching them through the lens of this alternate reality. This one isn't a bad episode, but it's already nearly over. Guess there's no point in just watching the ending. True. At this point, the credits were already rolling, and Dean turned off the TV again. What do you think? Let's just say that if a human looking like that suddenly showed up in our world, people would probably run away screaming. They don't look that bad. Sure, it's impressive if we consider what they had to work with. But there's a few things they got wrong. Like what? For one, humans mostly wear clothing, and secondly, we don't have tails. Those are just small details. Series still good though. Is it popular? For sure, many people love it. I see. I hope they aren't too scared of me when they see how different I am though. I didn't run away screaming when I first met you, did I? True. Now that you're already here, there's something you can help me with. What is it? Well, it'd be a huge favor to ask. It's kind of embarrassing. Just say it. The worst I can do is say no. How should I say this? It's about my shower. It got pretty dirty for practice sometimes, especially from the bad landings. Recently, the detachable shower head broke. It usually wouldn't be much of a problem, but with this injury, I can't quite reach a few places on my own. It's already not ideal having to manage everything with my wings, but now it's even harder. You want me to scrub your back? I guess you put it that way. Told you it was embarrassing. It's fine, I can help you with that. Don't worry about it, I'm glad to help. Thanks! This way. I followed her, entering the rather large bathroom. The shower is huge. I wouldn't mind having one of these. This isn't just your regular dragon-sized shower. It's made specifically for a flyer like me. We need enough room to stretch our wings. Just thinking of the possibilities. She took off her goggles and stepped into the roomy walk-in shower. After pressing a button on the wall, water started flowing from the shower head mounted on the wall. She moved around a bit, stretching this and that way in order to cover her whole body in the water. Soon afterwards, she pressed the button on the wall again, and the water flow stopped. She turned to show me her back, wings splayed. Alright. This open sponge should be right there. I took a sponge that wasn't unlike the ones I knew from back home and added some soap from a rather big bowl. It seemed to me that each species had their own challenges that needed to be overcome when it came to daily tasks like this one. emphasized by all the different design choices when it came to everyday items. You can start with the wings and work your way down from there. Sure thing. Couldn't help making a joke to ease tension a bit when I put sponge on her muzzle. Hey, looks like you've got something here. Oh wait, that's just your stripes. Hey, stop that! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Good job, now I've got soap in my nose. Started scrubbing her wings. Now that I can see them up close and fully extended, I found them to be quite impressive. You know, I actually tried to do that before. What do you mean? Washing off those stripes. Why? Well, I was just a child back then. You know how kids are, they make fun of everything. Though I don't know if human children are the same way. They are, trust me. Don't press too hard there, that's the injured shoulder. I'll be careful. Eventually I reached her lower back. While I was washing a particular spot on her left side, I could see her leg twitching slightly. I ticklish there? I guess you noticed. What happens if I do this? I repeated my administrations, moving the sponge in circles over that particular spot. Hey, stop that! Started squirming suddenly, her tail whacked around and hit me in the face, causing me to stumble and fall over backwards. Are you okay? I guess I deserved that. Well, you take the dragon, you get the tail, apparently. The forked tip of her tail was still hovering inches in front of my face. The peculiar shape reminded me of something I couldn't help but grab and hold it like a telephone. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? I think your phone isn't working. Stop being silly. Alright. Nearly done, anyway. I think it would look more like a moon. Resume my scrubbing. By now, only her tail was left. Not being entirely sure about my technique, I moved the sponge over the tail's whole length in small circles. When I was nearly done, I noticed a low rumble emanating from her, reminding me of what an oversized cat's purr might sound like. Is that? Are you purring? Suddenly her expression changed as she looked over her shoulder. Oh, are you done? You should take a step back if you don't want to get hit by the water. After I left the shower again, she pressed the button on the wall. The water resumed once more. She only stood under it briefly and moved around a bit until the water completely washed off the suds. When she turned off the water again, I realized that it didn't cling to her much at all. After she shook herself for a bit, she stepped out again, nearly dry. Thanks, I really needed that. You're welcome. It's probably getting late for you. I already held you up this long. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's already dark outside. I guess that took longer than I thought. I'm not supposed to go outside this late. You're right. You're advised by police to stay inside after nightfall because of everything that's going on. For me, this is even more important. You don't know if there's anyone out there who might want to target me. Suppose you just have to spend the night then. I guess so. Probably call up Sebastian and be like, hey, if you try to search my home and don't find me, I'm just at Adine's, don't worry. Alright, let's get some rest. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today is the day of big fireworks which I bring. I guess she's here. Are you ready? Ready for what? The fireworks, silly! Oh, of course, let's go. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Here we are! This is everyone. I'm disappointed. Thought it'd be crowded here. This is actually one of my training spots. It turns out you can see the fireworks pretty well from here, too. So this is your secret spot, then? I guess you could say so. Well, now that I know of it, I suppose it's not so secret anymore. Now, if you keep it to yourself, we can make it our secret. If you say so. Hey, looks like it's starting now. Well, take a good look. We wait quietly as still as the night enveloped us. Soon, I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Yep. And then we're going to have the realization about Riza. Adine, I think we need to go, now. Stop joking around, Cat. You still haven't seen the best part. I know where Riza is. We need to stop him. Are you serious? Yes, I am. What should we do then? Maybe you can fly and get some help. I'll try to buy us some time by confronting him. Alright, where should I meet you? Somewhere near the portal. You'll be there. Let's go. Alright. Then we're gonna it didn't go over Sebastian's corpse this time. Riza, wait, why can't we just talk about this? Just did. No, what about the... Wait, you're just trying to distract me, aren't you? No, I'm just... Shut up! They're probably already on their way! Suddenly, Riza shot me in the leg, causing me to fall over and squirm in pain. So Riza ran to the box containing the generator, lifted it up using both of his hands before making his way towards the exit as fast as he could. Riza got close to the entrance. I saw a flurry of grays zipping past me with a thunderous gallop. Looked towards Riza, turned around, dropped the box, grabbed his pistol. Maverick, who pounced immediately. Riza fell to the ground. Before he could so much as react, Maverick buried his teeth in Riza's neck and bent down. Riza slumped instantly and didn't move again. Well, there he goes. Then Adine appeared and called out to Maverick. Why did you have to kill him? Because I'm not taking chances anymore. What took you so long? Cad, are you alright? Got me in the leg. Maybe there's a first aid kit in one of these rooms. Adine went into one of the adjoining rooms, only to reappear with a first aid kit shortly after. Can I do anything else? I'm not sure if I can apply the bandage. You can tell me what took you so long. Well, at first, Maverick wanted to start in place head on. I remembered the map you gave me in the other entrance. We heard you two talking and figured we'd surprise him if we went it the other way. I guess I shouldn't be complaining then, because this could have turned out so much worse. Well done, Adine. We probably should be getting you some real help. She turned to Maverick. Come on, what are you waiting for? Maybe he thinks I'm going to take the generator while you're gone. Guess you really want to stop Riza. My apologies. He turned and they both left. Shortly thereafter, an administrator appeared and came towards me. Izumi, you're kinda late this time, too. How ironic that you would remember her name by her name now. Besides, it didn't seem like you really needed me. Good job. Her name? What are you talking about? I'm not Izumi. First I thought his administrator took off the mask, only to reveal a strangely familiar face underneath. The person before me had a face that looked exactly like mine, down to the tiniest detail. It was like looking into a mirror or at a twin. It was me. You understand why I'm wearing the mask now? How is this possible? It's complicated. By now, I guess you know that this always ends with you traveling back in time when something goes wrong. When I was in your position, Izumi died during our confrontation with Riza, and as the experience from all the different attempts vanished with her, I decided that I had to become the person who would oversee the next one. I didn't know just how complicated it would be. So wait, did I have to see the bad ending once just to see a good ending? Luckily, she left a lot behind to help me, and I executed her plan just as she would. So, what do we do now? Well, with the generator still intact, we will have no trouble diverting the comet and saving this world, but I also know that you feel very strongly about executing the mission you were sent here for. Unfortunately, I'm starting to realize now this won't be possible. What are you talking about? As outlined in Izumi's plan, I deleted the coordinates that would lead back to humanity's portal when I paired this one, replacing them with the coordinates to travel back in time to the day of your arrival in this world. Unfortunately, this means that our connection to humanity's portal is lost. Are you saying we could have saved humanity just to remove those coordinates? I'm afraid so. Then why did you do it? I didn't realize it would come to this. I just executed her plan as she would have. I can understand her reasoning for it, though. It presents an extraordinary risk. Eliminating these coordinates also eliminates the possibility of Riza getting away through the portal and taking the generator we need with him. Why not just tie them to my biometric data like the coordinates we need to travel back in time? That wouldn't be much help, because in scenarios where Riza escapes with the generator, he wouldn't hesitate to kill you to take what he needs to bypass the biometric scan and use the portal anyway. Then the only way to achieve what we want is to not delete those coordinates. Can we really take that risk? You know that if we fail badly enough even once, the portal gets destroyed, or if both the administrator and you die, there won't be any more chances. If you see what goes on from the administrator's side during my stay here, I suppose you should be the one to decide that. That still doesn't address the question of what we should do now, though. If we want to make this happen, one of us will have to go back and do this all over again. And what happens to the other? They could stay here and live their life however they wanted. What about Adine? I wish I could stay with her. All she does for the orphans, I wish I could be part of that. I wish I could be done with this already and settle down. Someone has to go back and ensure we can reach the outcome both of us want. No matter if it's you or me, one of us has to do it. Otherwise, all those we know back home, I don't think I need to tell you. Why do you make me think of those who suffer? You'll never forget them. If you don't do this, it will haunt you, I know. What do you want me to do? Go back in time, do it all over again? What we've been trying to do all this time, you know? No compromise. Of course, you want me to do it so you can stay here, huh? I will do it myself if that's what it takes. Just hoping it wouldn't have to be me. Don't we both? If you wanted to settle for an outcome where we just stop the comet and stay here, we could have done so a long time ago. That doesn't mean we're both not tired of this. Maybe forgetting everything again by stepping through the portal would be a boon, then. Don't try to make this more palatable for me. How many times have we done this now? I don't know. Okay. And that's an Adine ending. Honestly, I think I'm going to call it for this game here. If you want to look into other endings, buy the game. Check it out. For now, it's just kind of overstayed its welcome for me. I will admit, more they kind of grow on me by the end of their story. I still definitely think Adine was my favorite of the big five. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this wasn't like the. I feel like the writing had a few problems here and there. Not really. I'm sure I probably mentioned a couple of them as they came up. God, especially writing for Riza. What will you do now? For the time being, I suppose I'll be stuck in this world. Just losing connection to Mandy's portal, how is that even possible? I don't know. Maybe we'll never be able to re-establish contact. No matter what happens, you'll always be welcome here. Put your life on the line to save us. It cost your colleague his life. Riza was never my colleague. Then what was he exactly? You know, maybe it's better if humanity never finds out what happened. Oh well. Either way, I'm glad you're here now. I think Emily will appreciate it too. You think so? I'm sure of it. People from the orphanage should be here any minute now. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. Have you ever babysat before? Not a dragon, that's for sure. Don't worry, I'll be with you. I'll be here with you the whole time. But you have to be very careful, alright? Of course. I guess it's time. Are you ready? I think so. You've seen your first good ending. But it's not the best ending. Seen Adine's good ending. Yay. Oh, you know what? I think Lauren died to the bomb on that Riza shot. There's a gun down there. Looks like I have to load to view achievements. Here we go. Mysterious orb, wonder where that's gonna be. Stretch your legs. Examine Bryce's blanket. Bryce's magazine. Listen to a bunch of music. Meet with Emira somehow. Mysterious base. Play a prank on Bryce. We have to do that without speeding up to figure out exactly where that happened. So it's not gonna actually happen. I didn't actually interrogate Anna, apparently. Oh, if I kept the seashells, I would've got an achievement. I'm surprised Sphere Builder didn't come up when Norm's roommate brought it up. I forget his name right off the top of my head. Decide not to meet anyone or investigate 10 times. Wow. Alright. Well, there's quite a few endings around. Well, considering there's bad endings and good endings for each character. So your 5 main characters. Yep. Then there's probably a best ending. Still leaves one more that I don't know how to account for yet. Nor will I ever, probably. Unless comments are like, yeah, this is how you do things. Since I'm kind of done with the game, I guess I wouldn't mind those comments. Anyway, yeah, see you guys in next game. Goodbye.